What is up, my cutouts cardboard ninja here, coming at you with take two of the Rational Madness update. You might be wondering why I said take two. Put very simply, I recorded like half this video and I realized my mic wasn't on. Whoopsie. So let's kick it off again and see if I can say anything original this time around. So it looks as though there's going to be another movement part coming to the wasteland, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First, we're going to go to the legendary shotgun, the Shredder. And the first question to ask is, do you like the Arathon and Parser? Most people will answer no, predominantly because the Arathon is bad, with its very narrow window of effective damage, and most people don't use the Parser, even though it's never been truly bad. But the overall idea is that you'll charge up, shoot long distance shotgun with the Parser, and the Arathon does not have a charge up, but it also has a longer distance than most shotguns, but with a very small zone of efficacy. So it looks as though the Lunatics are coming with their own long-range shotgun, and they came up with the Shredder. Legendary. So, what makes this different than all of the other shotguns? Well, this one works similar to the Arathon in that it fires junk. So the idea is, I assume that these pieces of scrap that it throws downfield are going to be slightly larger projectiles than normal, etc. And its perk is that it gets faster firing rate, I believe. Sorry, it has two perks. So the fire rate increases, but it also, for every 1 meter to the target, increases damage dealt by 5%. So what that means is this has basically the exact same perk, or a very similar perk to that of the Retcher, where the further away your opponent, the more damage each shot does. But similarly to the Retcher, because as a shotgun, your shots are going to spread, right? And so you're going to hit with less pellets or less accurately. Either less pellets or less accurately, either or. The idea is that the damage increase may or may not offset that. It doesn't say there's a cap, so that's good, but we don't know the actual maximum range of the Parser or if it's affected by bullet physics, which is to say if it has bullet drop or not. Yet to be seen. Most shotguns are immune to bullet drop, so it's likely that this is also going to be similarly immune to bullet drop. But also, this will be another shotgun that's weird because it's least effective at point blank range. Because you get more damage, 5% per meter, when you're, further away. So, I don't know. Shotguns have been in a weird spot for a while. I like how this one actually looks like it has an engine on it. So it's literally grinding up and throwing junk at your opponent. But because it still looks similar to Roadhog's cannon now, actually. But anyway, from Overwatch. But yeah, so new legendary shotgun, and finally the new epic movement part, the MVP torpedo air cushion. So these things in real life are called hovercrafts, right? And they use air that's constantly being blown down by a fan into a trap that is usually rubber that fills with air and then forces that air out, and basically you float around a cushion of air. That's how it works in real life. In this game, it's just another moving part. These things are similar to augers, insofar as that they look to be about similar shaped and height off the ground, minus all the auger's abilities. It seems that this is going to reduce the strafe speed of your car instead of stopping your car. So you keep moving. Additionally, this, unlike all the other movement parts, which allow you to tie your movement to your camera, which is to say your mouse move, right? You can't do that. So this is like old school. That's really weird. Yeah. So there you go. You got old school's controls, and using the handbrake reduces the strafe speed of your car instead of it being brakes. So yeah, the movement part perk makes the car, your armored car, your entire vehicle more sturdy. So 80 kilometers an hour or higher, and it increases the damage protection, which is not damage reduction, but it's basically damage protection up to 35% at 115 kilometers an hour. So it wraps up fast, because the difference between 80 and 115 is, unless of course your cabin is capped, is actually pretty good. Is pretty narrow. If you're using a light cabin with this, you would be basically always at that 35% damage protection. Additionally, I don't think this is going to work, obviously, with the wheels that reduce the speed that you need to travel, which would be the buggy wheels, because the buggy wheels will never touch the ground with this thing. So that's not ideal. So you pretty much just have to run around, hit your top speed. You can use it with Hertz for 20% off of these speeds. So this would be 72 kilometers an hour, and this would be 90 something kilometers an hour, and that'll get you your 35% damage protection. I don't know. It seems like it's funny. I don't know if it's going to be good. It makes sense now why they're nerfing the Myriad legs. Now that I'm thinking about it, because the Myriad would be a direct competitor to this in my mind. I'd see them acting very similarly. So that's probably the reason why the Myriad legs took a hit. Other than that, new structural parts of the season. Look at that. It looks like it's a 1 by. I think this is a 1 by 8. I mean, that'd be grand to have another 1 by part. And it looks to be the back of a school bus. So, you know how we've been having to cobble together a bunch of parts to make it look like the back of a school bus? Nah, son, not any longer. They're just giving you the back of a school bus, which makes sense. Engineered parts are all typical commuter vehicles stuff, like things you'd find in regular civilization. So that's what you're getting here. So that's it. That's the last one. They're not giving us any more dev vloggy stuff. So as last time, let's go back through these things. We've got a crossbow, which I entirely forgot about. Which I entirely forgot about. This thing is the cross between the Varan and the Korax, and it basically gives you that rate of fire, giving you more damage output. But if you don't follow the rate of the fire, then the next projectile will become a high explosive. You have the charge booster, which gives us back the charge that they nerfed off of the kaiju and off of dang it. I know someone would tell me what this is. It's not the Yao Guai. Damn it! The other gun that I never effing use. Tempest. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Long story short, guns that charge up. This reduces the charge on it, or the time it takes to charge up. By the way, this doesn't work with because there are other weapons that naturally have a charge speed, which are the plasma weapons. This doesn't work with that, right? Remember that I already mentioned that before last time, but the Dawn's Childer said no, it doesn't work with plasma emitters. So you still need the other module for plasma emitters specifically. And then finally, this machine gun with a grenade launcher, which you have to double tap to change firing modes, meaning it's not a tap fire machine gun. And I think it fires, if I recall correctly, sticky grenades. And you want your sticky grenades on multiple different enemies to give your machine gun a damage boost. It's a fucking mess. And then of course the new legendary cabin, the Catalina. What? You're saying it's called the Dolores? No, it's not. It's the Catalina. Remember, they nerfed the Catalina recently to sell it back to you, and here they are selling it back to you. And look at that. Stingray parts, making your car look like the Chevy. So, yeah, if I were to, at a glance, tell you my hype level for this next upcoming battle pass, it would be among the lowest I have ever had. I'm not the kind of person to just genuinely. I mean, you've seen my content. I don't generally just bag on the devs, other than when they obviously nerf the shit that we already own in order to sell us shit that we already own. Other than that, and also selling us the newer parts that are identical to the older parts except with better perks, such as with the Quasar and the Elephant. But other than that, I try not to be that kind of guy. So on this one, though, I genuinely just may be the first battle pass I actually skip. Truth be told, I own them all. One of them that I was gonna skip, I accidentally purchased it because they ended up setting up the battle pass and the mini pass in such a way that they were confusing. And yeah, I'm a veteran and all this blah blah blah, but I still effed up and bought it. But this one will probably be the first one I actually skip. It's just not very exciting to me. But who knows? Maybe this stuff ends up being good, and once I see it on the old exhibition, it might spark my interest, and I may end up whoring out and purchasing it regardless. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys in the wasteland. Peace.